Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to learn to create this inverted right angle triangle using C++. And here you can see that each each row decreases 1 stars, and in the first row we have 5 stars, and second row we have 4 stars, in third row we have 3 and then 2, and at the last row we have only 1 star in this pattern. Okay, and here we will understand the concept of this code by the nested loops. And here you can see that this whole loop is nested loops. Okay, and this loop, which shows my pencil, and okay, here you see that this loop controls the number of rows, and here you see that the here you see that the number of rows is 5. This first row, second, third and fourth and fifth, there are 5 rows, and this loop controls the number of rows, and this loop controls the number of columns and prints the star. And in the third line you can see that C out, C out and star. This line prints the star, and outside the inner loop, this loop is called inner loop. Outside this inner loop we have C out, E and D L. This change this line, this line change this line change the pattern in this pattern. Okay, and let's understand step by step how it's work. And is an here is an inputted by user, and we suppose that user enter here 5. Okay, then I is equal to 5 हो गया. Here I is equal to here I is equal to 5. Okay, and I greater than equal to 1. You see that I greater than equal to 1 and 5 greater than equal to 1, this condition is true. And after this condition checking, this the compiler enters in inner loop, and here j is equal to 1 and j less than equal to I. Okay, in the first iteration j is equal to 1 and j less than equal to I and 1 less than equal to 5, because I value of I is 5. Okay, and this condition is true, and the compiler enters in this inner loop and prints a star C out and prints a star for our pattern. Okay, and here we have one star in one in first row, and after this, after the helping of this increment operator j plus plus, okay, the compiler increase the value of j by 1, and in the first iteration the j is equal to 1, and in the second iteration j becomes 2. J becomes 2. Okay, and 2 is also less than 5, and this condition is also true, and the compiler enters in the inner loop, and here we have one more star, and after this j becomes 3. Okay, and we have one more star because 3 is also less than equal to 5. We have one more stars, and after this j becomes 4. 4 is also less than 5, and we have one more stars, and after this j becomes 5, and 5 less than equal to 5, this is also true, and we have one more stars, and after this j becomes 6, and 6 less than equal to 5, this condition is false, and the compiler came out from the inner loop, and we have C out, E and D L, and the next line. Here is the next line, and after this the compiler goes again the in outer loop, and this controls the number of rows, and I become 2. I become sorry Here is a decrement operator I minus minus. So in the first iteration I is equal to 5, and in the second iteration I becomes 4. I becomes 4 because here is, here is a decrement operator. And after this same loop runs again. J is equal to 1, then 1 is less than 5, we have 1 stars, and j becomes 2, we have one more stars, and we have third star and fourth star. And after this j become 5 and 5 less than equal to 4, this condition is false. Then the inner loop is end, and the compiler came out from the inner loop, and we have one more row here. After this iteration I become 3, then we have 3 stars in third row. Here I am printing the star, and after this iteration I become 2, and we have 2 stars in fourth row. And after this I become 1, and we have 1 star in the last row. Okay, and after this 1 I becomes 0, and 0 less than equal to, and 0 greater than equal to 1, this condition is false, and the whole nested loop was ended. That the compiler came out from the nested loops, and this loop was ended. Okay, and we have, here you see that we have our pattern, this pattern and this is the same, and here is first, second, third, fourth and fifth row. There are 5 rows, and there are also 5 rows. Okay, and let's understand this code on the Visual Studio Code. I opened my VS Code and create a file, right angle inverted right angle triangle dot cpp. Okay, dot cpp, and enter, and type a boilerplate code for the C++ hash include iostream, then using namespace std and semicolon, and create a main function int main function and curly braces, then assign a variable int n semicolon, and cout, enter any sorry enter any integer, this enter any integer and input it c in n. Okay, and after this we are type our nested loops, and the first of all the outer loop for int I is equal to n, and I less than I greater than equal to 1, and the increment operator I plus plus. Okay, I minus minus, and create inner loop for int j equal to 1 and j less than equal to I. There is a typing mistake, j less than equal to I and j plus plus. And after this we typing the cout star with a space. Here we are giving a space. Okay, and semicolon, and outside the inner loop we have the next line after breaking the loop. Okay, cout endl. Okay, and let's run our code. Here is a run button, and we run our code, and here this is many terminals. Let's cancel this and delete this, and again run our code by this run button, and the compiler asking you enter any integer. We are entering 5 according to our question, because we want 5 rows. Okay, and here you see that the first row we have 5 stars, and second we have fourth, and third row as well any rows, and we have our same pattern. Okay, if this tutorial helpful for you, and subscribe the Codecraft for more pattern printing tutorials and coding tutorials. Thanks for watching.